Further advancing local content in Guyana, says EXXON CEO. Linden-to-MABURA Road link will create vast area of investment, says GOVT CEO. And Guyana's COVID-19 death toll surpasses 1,200, with 3 more fatalities. Now for the news in detail. A majority Guyanese-owned joint venture, GUYANA'S K&B Industries, will be investing some US $35 million into a fabrication facility at ENMORE, East Coast Demerara. It will be offering services to the oil and gas sector and will see over 500 jobs being created over the next 5 years. Vanu Manichand has the details in this report.
This announcement was made on Wednesday during the International Energy Conference that is being held at the Guyana Marriott. The complete investment will see US $35 million being invested into the fabrication facility, which will create 500 job opportunities for residents in ENMORE and surrounding communities along the east coast of Demerara over the next 5 years, with 150 recruitments this year alone. President Dr. Irfan Ali said that while government welcomes such investments in a bid to make Guyana a fabrication hub for the region, GUYANA'S K&B Industries will be held accountable for its commitments, including certified training of Guyanese to produce skilled and qualified employees.
The company has signed on to a number of commitments and milestones that has to be met as we move forward. The jobs, the investment, what has to be done, the type of changes that we have to see, and it's graduated, that is going to be monitored by NISIL, Finance, and GOVT. And they've committed themselves in writing to this. They've committed themselves in writing to this. It shows there is seriousness about advancing this very quickly.
In fact, a representative of the U.S. partner of the joint venture company said GUYANA'S K&B Industries has already started training Guyanese to work at the facility.
To be successful, we plan to invest in the community and more specifically in the Guyana people. Despite the challenges of the ongoing COVID pandemic, K&B and GUYANA'S have been conducting both virtual and in-country training to the local Guyanese workers. Our next phase of training includes sending local GKB team members to the United States for more in-depth training at K&B's world-class facilities.
Meanwhile, Finance Minister Dr. Ashni Singh said that in addition to these 500 jobs, ENMORE will also benefit from hundreds of other job opportunities that will come on stream soon.
This is not a one-off initiative. I had the opportunity recently on His Excellency's instruction to visit ENMORE, and in particular to go to the call center, the facility that we had constructed, indeed under then Minister Ali's leadership. We had constructed a facility that was intended to be a call center. I visited there with an investor about 2 or 3 months ago. We are working to bring a call center to that facility. And once that call center comes to that facility, we will have another 300 to 500 jobs, additional jobs.
The closure of the ENMORE estate under the previous APNU-AFC government has heavily impacted the community. As such, one resident welcomed this investment, which will be constructed on 55 acres of land, and the opportunities it will create for not just ENMORE, but other surrounding communities.
The old, the young, the entire community welcomes this wonderful venture and will be wholeheartedly willing to work and honored to work alongside this trustworthy and competent government and the generous investors. You have truly brought joy and livelihood to the lives of many. Now we are able to hold our heads high and say, indeed, better days are here.
For Guyana's oil-field people to forget our sugar people is like us forgetting ourselves. This resides very closely to me. My mother and father were both born very close to sugar estates.
Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manichand.
Proposals have been received from various operators in Guyana's waters for them to aid Guyana in setting up a national oil company. However, the government is still mulling whether it would go this route. Gerald Bryan reports.
During his address to the Energy Conference and Expo on Tuesday, Vice President BHARRAT spoke about the proposals they have received from operators. According to Jagdeo, operators have been proposing to work with the government on setting up a national oil company and using the available oil blocks in Guyana's waters.
Many people were asking, when can we access a block or some concession offshore? In the past, it was on the first come, first served basis. But since we found oil, we have changed the policy. We have made it clear that we'll either go to an auction sometime in the third quarter of this year, with or without seismic done on our part. That decision still has to be made in government, or alternately use those blocks to form a national oil company, because we have had some proposals from people in this room, from some large operators, to work with the government in a national oil company and utilize the remaining block.
The Vice President assured that all those decisions will be made by the third quarter of this year.
So we'd either make a decision that will be part of the national oil company, the remaining blocks, or we'll tender them with or without seismic. So I hope that answers the question for those that were wondering how they can apply for new blocks.
Countries grabbing opportunities in oil and gas is nothing new. In fact, in neighboring Brazil, Petrobras is a well-known example of a state-owned oil company. Venezuela also has its own state-owned oil company, Petróleos de Venezuela, PDVSA. There is also the Petroleum Company of Trinidad and Tobago Limited, Petrotrin. However, the latter two companies have not fared well, with Petrotrin closing its refinery and PDVSA closing and then reopening its own. Gerald Bryan, The Evening News.
Once again, here is Gerald Bryan reporting that a strategy that would allow for Guyana, Brazil, and Suriname to share power via an energy corridor is in the draft stages. This is one of the revelations made on the second day of the inaugural International Energy Conference and Expo on Tuesday.
During his address to delegates of the International Energy Conference and Expo, Natural Resources Minister Vikram Bharat made this revelation. In his presentation, the Natural Resources Minister spoke of the Gas-to-Shore project, which he said the government is committed to implementing as quickly as possible. The Gas-to-Shore project also ties into the government's intention to partner with its neighbors, Suriname and Brazil, to create an energy corridor and share power.
The energy corridor will see the countries teaming up to share power based on a collective understanding of their needs and ability to supply. And I must say that our talks with Suriname and Brazil are ongoing. Heads of state would have met recently. Fortunately, I was part of that meeting, and we are now in the drafting stages of developing a strategy that will work for our countries.
According to Bharat, they have been strategizing since 2021, cognizant of the vast potential of the three countries.
Cognizant of the vast potential of Guyana and Suriname oil and gas sectors, the two countries have been strategizing since 2021 on the development of this critical and lucrative sector. This is also being done with a commitment from both presidents, President Ali and President Santokhi, to ensure that our country's oil and gas sectors are prudently managed to the benefit of our peoples.
In January 2022, President Dr. Irfan Ali had led a delegation to Suriname where he met President Chan Santokhi and Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro. The energy corridor, trade and infrastructure are just some of the things the three leaders discussed. Gerald Bryan, The Evening News.
ExxonMobil's Chief Executive Officer Darren Woods in Guyana for the International Energy Conference and Exposition has assured that his company, which is currently exploring and producing oil in Guyana's waters, remains committed to further advancing local content. Here is that report.
During his presentation at the Energy Expo, EXXON CEO Darren Woods made it clear that EXXON takes local content in Guyana very seriously.
From our perspective, continued progress means achieving local content while also continuing to attract international investment, technology, and expertise that relies on the country's stable and predictable regulatory regime. We thank the government for providing supporting this approach. We've made a lot of progress in advancing local opportunities for the people of Guyana, and through our partnership, we remain committed to making even more and further advancements.
Woods also gave an update on ExxonMobil's local content fulfillment. Exxon's local affiliate has to date provided employment for 3,500 Guyanese and 800 local suppliers who have supported its exploration and production activities.
This is an impressive result, and there are many to thank, including the government of Guyana, our partner companies and key contractors, and many Guyanese businesses and organizations.
The Local Content Act, which was passed last year, mandates foreign companies to engage Guyanese and Guyanese-owned businesses at varying levels in at least 40 areas. These include 100% exclusive use of Guyanese companies in the provision of immigration support services, work permits, custom brokerage services, and ground transportation. Gerald Bryan, The Evening News.
Coming up, self-testing COVID-19 results not acceptable for international travel, and former Bishop's High teacher on trial for sexual activity with underage girl. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
This is Mocha.
Gaffors, manufacturers of the perfect concrete hollow block in sizes 4 inches and 6 inches, certified by the Guyana National Bureau of Standards and hydraulically tested by the University of Guyana to 2,000 pounds per square inch. Pallet packed and shrink wrapped for easy transportation too. So get your supplies of the best quality made concrete hollow blocks in Guyana and also get a 12.5% discount. For superior service, quality and competitive prices, visit Gaffors Mega Complex at Mattoon and our outlets at Rose Hall, Kanji, Bedford Acting, Means, Land of Canaan, and Parika.
Looking for fresh, tender, and flavorful meat? Then check out Rossignol Butchery for steaks, burgers, sausages, minced meat, fish, and chicken. For a tasty, attractive cocktail, we have a wide variety of packaged deli meats and cheeses to decorate your platter. We also stock a wide assortment of canned goods, seasoning salt, sauces, and marinade, all in a highly hygienic, welcoming atmosphere with warm and welcoming staff to cater to all your needs. Rossignol Butchery, we meet your needs. 73 to 74 Church Street, Georgetown. Telephone number 223-0004.
You taste the cheese, you hear the crunch. Grab a zoomers and zoom into fun. And with the first taste, you feel like you don't want it done. Blast off to a whole new place with every single bite. The cheesy goodness bring your taste buds alive. So let's just zoom into fun with this wheel-shaped light. Zoomers, zoomers, zoom into fun.
Welcome back. You're watching the evening news. The Health Ministry on Wednesday reported that 3 more persons who had tested positive for COVID-19 have succumbed, thus taking the death toll to 1,202. The fatalities include a 38-year-old male from Region 1 and a 75-year-old male from Region 6. They reportedly died on February 15. In addition, a 68-year-old male from Region 4 died on February 16, 2022. All 3 of these men were unvaccinated. However, new statistics released by the ministry have shown that 105 new cases were detected, which now takes the total number of positives to 62,465 since the virus was first detected in March 2020. 8 persons are in the ICU, 81 are in institutional isolation, 1,084 are in home isolation, and 23 are in institutional quarantine. Let's now tell you that Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony has made it clear that the results from a self-testing COVID-19 kit will not be accepted for travel in and out of Guyana. Bisham Mohammed filed this report.
Dr. Anthony made this announcement on Wednesday during his daily updates, while adding that anyone entering or leaving Guyana must have the results from an authentic laboratory.
So self-testing is a concept that you have in different countries. Our travel requirements are very explicit. We are accepting an antigen test from a reputable institution where it's done, or a PCR test. There is something now called a rapid PCR, and we are also accepting that. So any of these 3 tests we're accepting. Home kit, somebody having a home kit and doing a test at home does not necessarily qualify or meet the requirements of travel.
He reiterated that once the self-testing results return positive, this must be communicated to the relevant authorities, including the Ministry of Health. To date, he noted that there are 77 imported cases of COVID-19. On this note, the minister revealed that 1,277 active cases are being monitored, including just over 100 new cases that were detected in the last 24 hours.
Over the last 24 hours, we had 105 cases. And right now we have 1,277 active cases. So if we compare from yesterday to today, you would have seen a significant drop, because we moved from about 1,500 right down to about 1,200 now. So as we have predicted, there will be a lot more people who would be discharged because they would have been in isolation for more than 7 days, so they're now being discharged.
With respect to hospitalization, he added that these numbers are drastically declining, while stressing that most of the persons who were admitted with the virus are unvaccinated.
Hospitalization right now, we have 76 patients. We have 59 of them at the Ocean View Hospital, with 8 of those persons in the ICU. So we have seen a reduction in ICU cases, but we do have persons coming into the hospital because they have difficulty breathing. And unfortunately, many of these persons, they have not taken their vaccine.
With respect to the vaccination rate, the 12 to 17 age range continues to pose some challenges. In addition, citizens are turning up to take their booster jabs is being done at a slow rate. Bisham Mohammed, The Evening News.
The Director General of the Guyana Maritime Administration Department, Stephen Thomas, during an interview with this newscast, related that a number of navigational devices will be installed in Guyana's waterways to allow ships to better navigate in the dark. Amar Prasad filed this report.
These pieces of devices will include a number of buoys and beacons that will be installed in Guyana's main river channels.
Georgetown, which is the main port and the principal channel, we always have to have it made because ships have to go day and night, and we have significant traffic in the Demerara, so we have to always have that fully maintain, all the lights, all the beacons and everything, which we do. For Essequibo now, the buoys and beacons in Essequibo have been missing for many years, most of them, actually all of them. So this year we would be, in this year budget, and which we will be doing, we are going to be constructing like about 20 beacons in the Escobar River. About 20 beacons, coupled with it, we're going to be placing like about the same amount of buoys, 20 buoys in the Escobar River. So persons can enter the Escobar River day and night.
Thomas stated that buoys and beacons are also expected to be installed in the Winey River Channel to cater a ferry that is being built by India to operate in that area.
We also would be establishing a series of beacons and place some buoys in the Pomeroon River. They were missing again for decades, and we intend to do that this year. Now we will be doing it this year. The same for the Northwest with the Winey. We've constructing a set of beacons. I think there's about 4 or 5 beacons in that area. Because I said it's necessary because ships go there, so the need is its navigation. And we have the new ferry that the Indian government is donating to get, that has helped fund for Guyana. It's being built in India. That is scheduled to be here in the latter part of this year. And we want a brand new ferry to operate in a brand new marked channel.
Further, he stated that one concrete beacon was installed in the Berbice River Channel last year. Meanwhile, Siddiqui highlighted that it will be dredging the Pomeroon Channel, which has had a build-up of silt over the years, preventing certain vessels to traverse in the area.
Our plan includes dredging the Pomeroon River. It calls for a significant amount of dredging, so, but it hasn't been dredged for decades, and we would be dredging it this year. It's a long haul in dredging it because so much accumulation of silt. But we would be starting it this year, at least start opening it up, and so larger boats can go in. Right now it's only very, very small vessels can go in.
Over the years, vessels were unable to operate in the Guyana main waterway due to the absence of the relevant indicators. With plans to put these in place, night travels will recommence. For the evening news, Amar Prasad.
The trial of a former Bishop's High School teacher charged with engaging in sexual activity with one of his female students commenced on Wednesday before Demerara High Court Judge Priya Sunarayan Bihari and a 12-person mixed jury. Particulars of the charges state that on 4 occasions between February, March, April, and May of 2011, Cohen Jackson, 43, engaged in sexual activity with a child under the age of 16 by abusing a position of trust. He has pleaded not guilty. Jackson is being represented by attorneys at law Nigel Hughes and Jerome Khan, while the case for the prosecution is being led by State Counsel Nafisa Baig in association with State Counsels Muntaz Ali and Latifa Elliott. Allegations of Jackson preying on his students and grooming them in preparation for sexual relationships surfaced in 2017. An official complaint was later made at the Education Ministry, and the matter was handed over to the police for probing. The police instituted charges against Jackson in March 2018. Following a paper committal 2 months later, he was committed to stand trial for the offense after a city magistrate ruled that a prima facie case was made out against him. Jackson remains on $300,000 bail pending the hearing and determination of the trial. Weeks after the first phase of the Linden-to-Mabura road link was awarded to a Brazilian company, Chief Executive Officer of the Guyana Office for Investment, Dr. Peter Ramsarup, has said he believes that this road would open up several investment opportunities in Region 10. Here is Amar Prasad with the details.
The CEO made this comment while accompanying the Foreign Affairs Minister Hugh Todd in an outreach to Kokwani and Ituni in Region 10, Upper Demerara, Upper Berbice.
The Linden-to-Mabura road opens up a vast new area of investment. And much as when it gets to Lethem, and much as when it gets to Deepwater Harbor, thousands of 18-wheeler trucks will pass through this region. And what does that mean? Gas station, hotels, tire shops, restaurants, or maybe bigger than that. Maybe we want to own the trucks that comes through. right? So the opportunity. So when you hear of a road and the paving of road, you may say, wow, that's okay. But when you think of the opportunities, every exit off of a road becomes a little village, becomes something that could happen there.
Meanwhile, Ramsarup noted that Region 10 is one of the most beautiful areas for expansion and development, and as such, he can see massive developments including an aluminum plant.
Especially in Region 10, I think it's one of the most beautiful regions that can see expansion. With cheaper energy, manufacturing, you know, I can see with the bauxite industry, and the President has talked about this, that in the near future we can have an alumina plant back again. You know, we'll build a new one, more modern, more, you know, we're looking for investors, but we have to have cheaper energy. And as you know, the President has put forward an integrated energy plan where we will bring the gas to shore. We're doing the hydro back again. Sadly, it was stopped. We would have had cheaper energy today, and solar and wind power. When you do an integrated energy plan like that, we can get into manufacturing. Region 10 will be the manufacturing hub.
Further, the official highlighted that Region 10 has investment opportunities in other sectors, such as the agriculture and tourism sector.
Mega farms is what we are moving to. In the Region 10 area, especially in the Kokwani and down the Berbice River, large-scale cattle farming needs to happen. You know, Guyana imports $35 million worth of milk every year. You know, those boxes of milk. Wait a minute, we've got the land, we've got the grazing pastures. We now need to look at grazing dairy cows. But you know, one person cannot do it. So maybe if 5 farmers get together, then maybe we can get into a mega farm for dairy. So this region is ripe for extended agriculture. The Ministry of Tourism, Minister Onage Waldron, has put out an expression of interest, looking for new operators, looking for somebody to build eco-lodges around the nation. There are many different ways of doing that. Small business have small loans. You can go to the bank with a business plan. Where Go Invest gets involved, now when you get to the building stage, there are incentives, especially in Region 10. You know, for example, all your building materials, all your bedding, all your generator, the vehicle in support, all of those things, we can look at concessions to get your costs down so that you can be more competitive. So Go Invest is out there.
In fact, talks have commenced with Brazil in this respect. For the evening news, Amar Prasad.
Falcon Logistics and Stena Caron Drilling Limited have reaffirmed their commitment to the Ptolemy Reed Rehabilitation Center and by extension persons with disabilities in Guyana via a joint monetary donation of $8.3 million. At the beginning of 2019, the two companies forged a relationship with the Rehabilitation Center and have made several donations in support of the services of the institution, including appliances and equipment for multiple departments. More recently, they donated PPE and much-needed cleaning and sanitization supplies through the COVID-19 pandemic. This most recent donation is the result of Xmas fundraising initiatives by the offshore crew members of the Stena drill ships Caron and Drill Max, whose numbers are made up of different nationalities, including a growing number of Guyanese. The funds raised were then matched by Stena Drilling's head office, and the same sum was in turn matched by Falcon Logistics. And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbor Bridge will be closed to vehicular traffic from 3 hours 30 on Thursday, February 17, 2022, for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is expected to be closed at 5 hours 10 on Thursday, February 17, 2022, for a period of 1.5 hours.
CPL in talks with Guyana to host 2022 tournament, and India take first T20 International despite Puran's half-century. Details of these stories and more in the Sportcast, sponsored by Macorp, coming up on the other side of the break.
Complete control of power is in your hands with the ultimate U.S. brand Generac generators from Sylvie's Variety Store. Get the supply and reliability you need every time. From 1,800 to 8,000 watts of power for residential and commercial use. Recoil and electric start with gasoline engines. Generac generators from the authorized dealers Sylvie's Variety Store.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Satco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store, located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rheinveld.
John Lewis Styles introduces Eddie Domani, Vertical Sport, and Alberto Cardinale, a line of very affordable men's clothing, especially suited for the workplace. Get polos from $2,800, dress shirts from $3,995, shirt jacks from $5,500, and even jeans and dress pants from $5,995. We can supply large companies with special sizes and colors upon request. Come visit us on Waterloo Street and ask for a quotation. Umbrellas, computer bags, footwear, and women's workwear are also available. John Lewis Styles, simply different.
It happens. Your septic tank is full. All the waste from your toilet goes into your septic tank through the sewage line. When your tank is full, the two most common indicators are an overflowing tank and an overflowing toilet. It is recommended that Sevon's Waste Management empty your septic tank every 2 to 3 years to avoid any embarrassment. And before you can say, shh, it's gone. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455 or 218-1156.
Win big with Ultra Lubricants. Win a Toto backpack every week. To enter, purchase any Ultra Lubricants. Send us a picture of your receipt via WhatsApp to 604-5810. Winners will be randomly chosen weekly. Promotion ends February 28, 2022. ISG, the best opportunity to make the right choice.